Welcome to the Wednesday Match Play, your weekly connection to the biggest and best brands in golf. On this show you will learn more about the latest golf fashion trends, hear from LPGA and PGA Tour players, get advice on planning your next golf getaway, and much more. Broadcasting live from Palm Desert, California, now on the tee, Ricky Potts.
Gabe did not like the original Link putter from Lab Golf, but now he's got his hands on the Link 2.1 and 2.2. Will he like these? Head over to letsplay3.com to see which one he prefers. Both of these putters feature the zero torque design, but how will they perform? Let's take a closer look at these two putters.
Experience the spirit of St. Andrews with Eden Mill. From our award-winning gins and whiskeys to our craft beers, every sip tells a story of Scotland's rich tradition and modern innovation. Handcrafted with passion and precision, Eden Mill is more than a drink. It's a celebration of heritage, flavor, and the art of distilling. Perfect for toasting life's moments, big or small. Discover Eden Mill today and raise a glass to Scotland. Eden Mill, raise a glass to Scotland. Learn more at edenmill.com.
JONDO Sport is a golf-focused sunglasses brand that specializes in performance eyewear designed to help golfers see the course more clearly. Their sunglasses use what they call KRISP lens technology, which is designed to enhance contrast, reduce glare, improve the depth perception, and make it easier to track the golf ball and read greens. In this episode of the Wednesday Match Play podcast, brought to you by Eden Mill St. Andrews, Morné talks about where JONDO Sport is based, shares how the company got started, details their approach to R&D, and where he sees the future of eyewear going, discusses prescription lenses, and explains how he first met Ernie Els. He also breaks down why 17% light transmission matters, talks about their warranty and repair process, and shares how they stay competitive in such a crowded market. This was such a cool conversation, and an honor to have Morné on the show. Let's tee off. I am so excited for this conversation for about 7 different reasons. One, got the chance to meet this guy just a few weeks ago. Got a chance to put the sunglasses on, and they blew my mind. Then I got the chance to wear those sunglasses in a golf tournament where I bumped into this guy on a par 3 tee box. Like, it's just awesome how this all came together. But, Morné, welcome to the Wednesday Match Play podcast brought to you by Eden Mill St. Andrews.
Thank you, Ricky. I'm very honored to be on your podcast. Thanks for the invite.
Well, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. It was great seeing you out there at the Golden State chapter event at Mission Hills. Sorry about the weather. It was 110 in the shade. There wasn't an ounce of wind and not a cloud in the sky, but we made it. So hopefully you had fun out there. But man, it's great to connect here. And like I said, we just met a few months ago, but appreciate you stopping by the Springs and taking some time to show me the glasses in person. But let's start with you and your team. Where are you guys based, and how often do you make it out here to the desert?
Yeah, Ricky, thanks. So we are currently based in Mooresville. It's just about half an hour outside of Charlotte in North Carolina. So that's where our office is, and we have a few warehouses that we ship from, but our office is in North Carolina. But the focus is to obviously expose or get exposure all over the country. But a big focus is California. Hence the reason we met the other day at Mission Hills. So we in North Carolina, but really focus on California where the sun shines.
Yeah, the sun is out about 360 days a year. It's pretty wild. If there is a cloud in the sky, I stay inside. I don't know how to handle it when the clouds are out, but good place to be. And it's funny. I actually spent time in Arizona. I was in Florida. So if you can't tell, I like the sun and I like the heat.
Yeah, no, I can see that because, like you said, 110 the other day in the shade was definitely a new experience for me.
Well, for those that may not be familiar, tell me more about JONDO Sport, what inspired the brand, and what products you're currently offering.
Ricky, yeah, so Jondo Sport was really born out of I almost want to say genuine, frustration. You know, um, I'm a golf professional, played on tour and did my PGA. I'm a PGA member and did a lot of coaching. And then after that, got into and actually stayed in the golf business. And part of always trying to find the best product or the latest product. It's also to find a product that really can give you that edge. And I've been friends with the original founder, Michael De Jong. He was an ex tennis pro, and so he came to me and said, "Listen, have a look at this lens." And I looked through it, same as the same as what you went through when you saw the lenses for the first time. And I was blown away by this. And I asked him, what's this all about? And he said, well, I need to listen to the optometrist, the other co-founder, Peter Nordia. And when I listened to Peter, he's a well-known optometrist, and he basically had one question: why is there no specific golf lens in the market? And at the time, and this was going back to 2019, 2020, at the time, I said there are many golf specific lenses out there or sunglasses out there. And he went through a whole thing of why they're not really golf specific. And from an optometry standard and optometry point of view, what you really need for golf. And that frustration that there's never been something like that. And that's where it started. And the optometrist played around with getting the right product together. And that's how Jondo was found, on that pure frustration from a optometrist point of view, and from I'd say a genuine golfer that wanted something that can really enhance the visual side of things. And then the second part is currently what we offer is a small range of sunglasses. The lens is exactly the same lens. We don't offer different lens types at the moment, so it's all the same, but different frames. And again, each frame that we have, we have about 8 different models. Every frame is sort of selected, tried and tested again for golf. The right weight, it shouldn't slip. Single mold frames, it shouldn't break. It needs to be robust. So that's what we have to offer at the moment, Ricky.
Well, how did Ernie Els get involved with this? I mean, you talk about you being a professional golfer. We could have a whole conversation about that. But is he actively involved with the brand? Is he wearing these glasses on the course? And maybe you've played some golf with him.
Yeah, so this again is quite a nice story for us. I've met Ernie obviously through playing and being a pro and being in the industry in South Africa. And South Africa is a very small country. So once you in the golf industry, you literally know everyone and get a chance to meet everybody, and especially those icons like Ernie and Gary Player and all these top guys. South Africa golf has delivered in the past. But so what happened was my business partner and I went to a Legends event in Kerry in North Carolina, and David Frost, another South African player, was there, and he introduced us to Ernie, and yeah, went to Ernie, and he said, "What am I doing here?" And I said, "Oh well, I'm now in the sunglass business." And yeah, this was in a tournament. Actually, it was in the pro-am the day before the tournament started, and on the putting green, and he put the glasses on, and he was, wow, this is unreal. And he could never actually play with sunglasses because it never felt comfortable for him. And also, remember, these guys are top players. They've been playing for many years, so any change or anything that distract them a little bit, they get finicky about every single thing. They so I almost want to say perfectionist in everything that they do. So growing up without playing sunglasses is quite a difficult thing to change into. But so he had it on, he said, "Listen, can I go and play a couple of holes with it?" I said, "Absolutely." And we walked with him while he was playing. And afterwards, he came to me and said, "Listen, I want to play with these glasses, and here's my number. Phone me next week after the event." And I phoned him, and he said, "Listen, he doesn't only want to play with it. He actually wants to get involved in the company. Is there opportunity for him to get involved in it?" And I said, "Well, that would be an honor for us to have him on board." And a week later, we flew down to Florida, had a meeting with him and all these managers, did the deal, and yeah, he became invested in the company. It's not like we paid him to be an ambassador or anything. He's involved in the company, actively involved in that, and he played a couple of tournaments. In fact, his first tournament he played in with the glasses he won in Hawaii. But for him, it's some depending on the weather and the conditions and where they're at. Some days he'll have them on when it feels right for him, and other days he won't. And again, it's for him as a player. It needs to work, and he's got his own sort of idea of what works and what doesn't work for him. So often you see him with the glasses on, and some events you don't. But like I say, to have him actively involved in the team, in the company is awesome. And one thing everyone knows Ernie as the full-time major champ and the Hall of Famer and so on. But he's also a great a great businessman. I mean, he's done really well in all his ventures. So to have him and his team on board is really an honor, and we just love working with Ernie.
Well, he's all of that and more. He's a really nice guy too. I don't know how much time you get to spend with him, but just a
Yeah.
genuine human being, and his heart's always in the right place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I can really vouch for that. I've met him, like I said, back in South Africa many years ago, and obviously reconnected now. And he hasn't changed, a single bit. He's just down to earth. He's got he's a man that really loves people, and to have people around him. And we had this one event. In Florida a couple of months ago, and Ernie was there, and there was this one guy that walked around, and he was just. Eventually, I walked up to this person. He wasn't a golfer. He was sort of cycling past the golf course and stopped and wanted to know what's happening here. Why is there so many people here? And I said, "No, that's Ernie Els." And he said, "What is that, Ernie Els?" And I could see this. This young guy he was autistic, he had autism, some form of autism. And he said, "Well, it's his dream to meet Ernie Els." And I walked up to Ernie. I said, "Ernie, here's a guy who's got autism. It's his dream to meet you." And he literally left all the sponsors, all the players, everyone around him, and said, "Guys, just hang on for a second. I'm just going to greet this young guy." And he walked over and he spent quite a bit of time with him talking about life, things and whatever. And obviously, Ernie has got a passion for charity events, and with his own son Ben that's got autism, they built that Else for Autism um, business, not really a business, but a center where they support these kids and people. And yeah, listen, you can just take your hat off for someone like that. He doesn't have to talk to anyone really, but doesn't matter where he goes, he always has time for everyone. And every time we also get together, it's always the same. So he's really 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 a good guy.
So real quick, I'm a certified scuba diver, and I've not been to South Africa, but I've heard that the cage diving with great whites is pretty epic there. Not sure if you've done that, and it's on my bucket list to do that. Is that recommended, or should I just stay on dry land?
Well, if you're a scuba diver, it's 100% recommended. You have to do it. I am also a qualified scuba diver, not an instructor, but I've got my license to dive open water, and but I haven't done that shark cage diving yet. Just on our southern shores in South Africa, I've done a couple of dives there and saw a few sharks, and that was already quite a adrenaline moment. But definitely, I would say it's worth the trip down to South Africa for that.
Can you walk me through your R&D process and where you see this technology going in the future? I mean, there's a lot of sunglass companies out there, but I'm not kidding. When I put yours on, like I've never seen or experienced anything like that.
Yeah, so it's quite a thing, to find the right well, first of all, the lens and what you need in it, and so on. And luckily with the optometrist Peter, he's the expert in that. So it was basically to find the right mix that you really need for that. Well, we call it finding the right application for golf. And our application is all about the difference that we have. So the difference is how the lens really gets made, and how it works with light, not against light. So most sunglasses in the market, will apply coatings, film, polarizing layers, to get that effect. But those layers, scratch and they peel and they degrade over time. And the problem with those layers and filters over it, you sort of lose the quality, that crispness when you look through the lens. So what we do in our lens technology is called KRISP technology, or KRISP Extreme. So it starts with a liquid mix that we basically pour in individually into a mold, and we heat cure it slowly. So every single lens gets cast individually. So it's it's basically on optical technology, spectral filtration that we use at the UV protection, the color enhancement, everything that you need to get that effect, the UV protection, all of that basically sits in the lens itself. So nothing can come off, nothing can change, and that's why the lens is really so good. So it's RX standard or optometry standard lenses. When you look through them the first time, it's actually amazing to experience something so crystal clear. And at the same time, obviously, the effects we get to get colors to sort of amplify certain colors, or try and get them to be a little bit brighter, or block some other colors that you don't really need to see in golf. But that's what we have in the lens. And also the big difference there is, well, two things I would say. And the biggest one, it's a non-polarized lens, and that's still a big thing. A lot of golfers will try our glasses on and they go, "Oh well, these must be polarized." I go, no, in fact, they're non-polarized. It's not a polarized lens at all, because polarized lenses brings in depth perception issues. And in golf, you need true depth perception. I mean, that's how you measure, distance, and judge distance from the ball, and where to strike the ball, especially when you look down onto a putt or chipping or bunker shots. It's all about exactly where you strike the ball. Sometimes you get away with it when you just play a full swing, because all golfers are not too sort of focused on that quiet eye, focusing on the ball. But you can definitely feel it once you get to the short game. Then it doesn't feel right, and that's why a lot of golfers playing with sunglasses today still removes the glasses from the face, put it back on, and so on, which is not great. But if you play with a non-polarized lens, which is our lens, then it gives you that true depth perception that you need, and that's the big thing, for us. So we're not going to release something until it's genuinely better than anything else out there, and and that's what we've done, and that's why we are here today, because we truly have the best lens on optometry standards.
Well, I know pricing can vary. I mean, whether it's the frames or their prescription or they're not, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But generally speaking, what is a pair of Jondo Sport sunglasses cost? I mean, again, I'm sure it depends, but what's an idea when I'm walking into the store or I'm browsing the website for my first pair?
Um, $260, so on average, but not more than 275 is the price. So anywhere between, depending on the frame again, but anywhere between sort of 220 to 275. That's what it will cost.
When you talk about on the website, I read a lot about. I mean, it's an incredibly amount of information that's available to consumers to learn and not just buy something that looks good. But you talk about enhancing specific wavelengths. How does that actually help a golfer read greens and better track the ball? I mean, green reading is so hard, and if I can't hit the left bumper and it gives me the break and the speed that I'm supposed to hit it, like on Tiger Woods EA Sports, I'm out of luck.
Yeah. Ricky, always got to look at it like, and this is always the analogy we give. Always have to look at it as a sound equalizer. Except now, or instead of frequencies, we're playing around with light wavelengths, and exactly that. A great sound or audio engineer will play with the volume and different sounds and frequencies till it hits the right spot and there's no distortion, etc., etc. So we do the same, but just with the light spectrum, and visible light spectrum. So basically what we do is, and again what I said earlier, part of our lens technology is to work with light and not against it. So we talk about 17% light transmission that we have, and that's not a number that's the best or in the middle or whatever, but 17% light that we use through the lens, we feel is the best light percentage of light that we use to get the best results, visual results through that. So basically, what it means is we allow light to come through the lens, light waves, and those waves, what we do is we will amplify certain colors, different color spectrum. So red, green, blue, yellow, white, but definitely red, greens, and blue. Sort of we amplify those colors more. So that sound equalizer. So we tune up those color waves, and then the other color waves that you don't need, we dim them a bit, or we block them, or bring them down again, and that gives you that big color differentiation when you put them on. So tracking the ball, obviously, through the sky is a lot easier. The color contrast, against the sky or tree lines or just on turf, really makes it easier to pick up the ball. But most importantly, your eyes obviously gathers information, and we must always remember the brain that now gets that information through the eye. The brain is there for survival. So the brain doesn't know you're golfing. The brain just knows you need to make a decision. You're looking at certain things around you, and all you can do is feed the brain with the best information or visuals possible to make the right decisions. Now, we can look at this in two ways. So firstly, let's say the brain is under stress. Now, under stress means there's some sort of fatigue that kicks in, or the heart rate goes up, immediately the brain goes, okay, there's an alert here. It goes under stress, and now it needs to survive. And one of the modalities, obviously being the eyes for the brain, is to say, right, the eye's purpose is to gather information, visual information, for survival. Now, firstly, if the heart rate goes up or there's fatigue, the eyes start wandering around, literally trying to scan, quicker than normal to get more information, together. Now that's a big problem because once you start scanning around and trying to gather more information, two things are happening. Firstly, there's not what we talk about in golf about the what we call the quiet eye. And the quiet eye is to really just focus on one specific spot, and that's your focus, and nothing else will basically interfere with that quiet eye. And the information that the quiet eye sends to the brain is everything is under control. We can only focus on this one spot, and we can actually execute without making mistakes. But if you give the brain a lot of information to survive, there's no focus, and you might leave out certain detail that you need. So when we put these glasses on, firstly, there's no eye fatigue. So immediately that brings down the fatigue or the stress level. Secondly, we feed the brain with, almost want to say, a clearer, clean, more accurate, and complete information about even the greens. So if you look at the green, you'll see with our glasses, and this is due to the color contrast, you'll be able to see the grain a lot better. So immediately your feel for putts will be a lot better. The undulations on the greens, the brain will see a lot better. So from just reading the greens to judge to judge the pace of certain putts does definitely help by just wearing the right eyewear in that case. So those are a few things that immediately helps, and gives the golfer that specific edge that well, we all are looking for, I suppose.
What about prescription lenses or maybe custom frames for those that need them? Like my wife can't see 2 feet in front of her, but and this is, I hate to admit this, tell me you're old without telling me you're old, but I have to get readers now.
Yeah. So we do offer prescription, and that's one of the benefits of having this lens getting cast in an optometry lab, is that it's a hardened lens, so we can do a script on those lenses. They also scratch resistant, so it really works. It's slightly limited in terms of how far we can take the script, and that's just again going back to sort of different frame styles. You'll see these what do you call it, wraparound frameless styles. We don't have too many of them, um, because you can't really do a proper script on those lenses because they bent. You almost need a plano lens, something flat that you can get the script on. So yes, the answer is we do scripting on them, and for our customers that are serious about their golf and their vision, they just love the combination of having a scripted or this specific script on a world class golf lens, so that it just makes sense for them.
Well, you have mentioned that, I mean, scalability is obviously a key value proposition. And when I was selling memberships, I remember that about creating scalable solutions that would work for 1, 5, 10 leads or 30, 50, 100 leads. But can you maybe talk a little bit about your structure and how that supports your business during peak demands of rapid growth, which I mean, if you're not currently experiencing, you're going to be soon.
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, yeah, so what we do is we we try and so right. Firstly, do we want just 1%, 2%, 20, 50% of the market? What's our market size? So we always start there and say, right, that's where we want to be one day, and then we'll be happy as business owners. But more importantly, we invest in quite a lot of systems and our infrastructure. So Jondo hasn't started in America. So like I said, we started in South Africa, and then firstly we supplied the South African market, and then from there we started, expanding to Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Philippines, and there's quite a few other countries now also taking on the brand, and obviously now America. So from day one, it was always about investing back in the business, in the optometry lab, and able to manufacture the way we do. Secondly, for us, it's not to it's I mean, it would be awesome to have a big market share, but our manufacturing process is just not that simple. So most of the glasses, even the top brands out there, they produce it, or mass produced, meaning they've got machines. It's their lenses are sheets that they cut them out from, so you can produce millions in a day. Our process, like I explained, to cast every single lens individually means you need people to do that, not machines. So for us to scale, we invested in the right factories, right machinery, right systems, right people to do that for us, and that's how we'll scale. And from there, it's just to manage all the expectations both ways, from a demand and supply point of view. So that's what we do there. I don't think for now our focus will not be, and it's definitely not now, um, and won't be for the next couple of years, is to get the product into big box retail stores. I think our product is too niche and specialized that you won't see the value of the lens walking into a big shop or a big mall, and trying to fit on glasses there to really see what you need to see. You actually need to try it out outdoors. When we met the first time, Ricky, we took you outside before we even said a word, and said, right, try these on, and then we'll go and talk business. And that's what we want. We want the golfer to experience the lens. Proof is in the pudding. Put it on first. Does it make a difference for you immediately? And then you buy. So for us, it's not to really try and sell sunglasses. It's more just giving that experience to people. So scaling for us was from day one. We knew with our manufacturing process, it will never be at a level where we can just print those lenses, a million a day. That we can't do. So it's a niche product. It's for the serious golfer, and if we can get to 1, 2, maybe 3% of the market, we'll be happy, because that's the niche that we focus on.
Well, fit is obviously, I mean, it's an important part, and I put those glasses on, and I immediately look down, look left, look right, like I'm hitting a putter, I'm swinging a golf club. Fit's always a concern with eyewear, and I do sometimes take the glasses off when I hit the golf shot. It's just I'm not there yet. But how do I know which size is going to fit me best, especially if I'm ordering these online?
Yeah, so there's today it's a difficult one. Firstly, because it's all about the individual and preference. What you like. I mean, we've got larger frames, to give you an example, and just last week I did another demo day for a club in California, and a lady came up. and she said, "Listen, I want the biggest frames you've got." And I thought maybe it's for her husband, and because we have larger frames, and that's for people with bigger heads and that needs the fit. But this lady said no, that's what she wants. She wants a large frame, so it's all about preference. But ultimately, to answer the question on our website, what we've tried to do is to almost create a virtual fitting experience where you can go on the website and virtually try on different frames and see how they fit. You can literally, take any glasses, your readers or other sunglasses, measure. Um, from the one hinge to the other hinge. And we've got all those measurements on our website to, come close to what you have. But, to make the buying process easier and to give the potential customer that sort of ease of mind is, we had a 14-day return policy an exchange policy, and which we just changed now to 30 days. And again, just people might ask why did we go from 14 days to 30 days? Is we've got an unbelievable great or low return rate on them. So currently we're sitting on a 1.2% return rate on them, and that 1% of people who return their glasses return them because of the fit. So we said, listen, we can go up to 30 days, at such a low return rate and really give the customer, that ease of, they can trust these guys and trust the company. And, we really want the right fit for you. We want you to wear those sunglasses because there's a huge benefit in having the right lens on. And that's our story. That's what we want for everyone. So the fitting is really done on the website, with virtual fitting tools that we have on there to get that real experience.
When you talk about the warranty and the return on those, let's say I've had them for 3 years and something breaks. Are you able to repair them? Do I have to order a new pair of glasses? Kind of what's that look like in case something happens to them down the road?
So we have a 2-year warranty on the glasses. So if anything, from a manufacturing point of view or any manufacturing defects you'll pick up, there's a 2-year warranty on them. If they break and it's your fault and something like that, unfortunately not, but there we can definitely help to repair. If or just exchange a frame. If the lenses are still good, they don't break or anything, we can still do it. But in short, yeah, 2-year warranty on them. And again, I'm happy to say that 1.2% return rate was only because of fit and not on the product. So we are very proud of the craftsmanship of our optometrists in our lab in South Africa that really, that workmanship that they have there and the proper quality controls and checks that's in place is really doing well for us.
Well, as a fellow blogger, I've published almost 3,500 blogs over the last 20 years. I'm obsessed with content creation. So that said, you've got a very informative blog on your website. Who is managing that, and how often are you publishing new, fresh content?
Yeah, so I'm actually personally quite invested in that. And again, I'm getting all this wonderful and amazing information from Peter, our optometrist, because he's at the forefront of eyewear and what happens and so on. And all I do is just get all this great information from him and rewrite them into with the golfer in mind. And yeah, so but the whole team, my business partner, he's a proper business guy, and loves information, loves education, loves reading up on things. So, even as a team, we're also involved in the educational part, and we understand how important educational is out there, especially in this division of eyewear, because, like I said earlier, people thought of sunglasses as either a fashion item or just an accessory, or if they polarize, that's the benchmark, or that's the sort of the buzzword that everyone was taught, and if it's polarized, it's the best. We realize that education is key, and it will take us a bit of time. So yeah, we do it ourselves, and definitely not frequent enough, but we try and put something nice together at least once a month.
Are you doing demo days or on-site activations? Like I can legit see you out here in the Coachella Valley during January, February, and March, just putting these on heads on the driving range. But I'd love to explore bringing you out to the Springs during the busy season next year.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's one of our favorite things to do, is to be out there and do demo days. It's definitely one of my favorite conversations I get to have is out on the golf course, showing people these glasses. And normally, what we do is just stand by the putting green. People come up and say, "Oh, you're selling sunglasses?" No, not really selling. Just try them out and see for yourself. And once I put them on, it's the same reaction we get from everyone. It's just wow, what is this HD? Or they can't believe what they experience through it. And it's obviously an easy way to make a few sales once you've tried it on, but that's definitely something we do. And yeah, I mean, we would definitely love to get more involved in your area too.
These look like a natural fit for things like the PGA show in Orlando. Are you thinking about taking these on the road and showcasing these on the floor next year? And if you've not been to the PGA show, it is overwhelming and awesome.
Yeah, so we've been to the PJ show now with the brand for 2 years. So our first year, last year, we had quite a large booth and was set up there, and it was fantastic. We were again sort of overwhelmed with the amount of people that were there, and you're so busy talking to a lot of people. But we decided this year to do it slightly different, and so what we've done this year at the PGA show was to only be at demo day outside. And obviously we're taking a chance with weather being outside, but this year was fantastic too for us, where we were outside and people could actually try them on outdoors and not just indoors. And that worked for us. So yes, definitely we'll always be at the PGA show and be involved there. And even down to the PJ sections, um, where it's more intimate, smaller groups, but also you get an opportunity to be outside and show people the product. That's a lot better. So yeah, the PJ show is unbelievable, and I think I've been coming to the PJ show for more than 15 years, and I must say, straight after COVID, or even that one during COVID where they tried a different format, and after COVID, it was sort of not the same as before. But I must say, the last 2 years has been better than ever before that I've experienced. So yeah, the PJ show is definitely a must if you're in the business, and also for our brand.
Beyond Ernie, are there any other tour players, whether it's LPGA, PGA, European Tour, Corn Ferry, that are currently wearing the frames?
Yeah, we've got a few, and you know, starting in South Africa and then in Europe, we actually do have quite a few Sunshine Tour players and DP World Tour players. Playing our with our brand. Not no, not everyone is too familiar with the names of other tours, but some of the South Africans that's on the PJ tour, like Christian Besaidenout, he wears them. You've got Michael Johnson and Robbie Shelton. They on the Corn Ferry. They on the Corn Ferry tour. You've got Warren Botha. He's also on the Corn Ferry. Yeah, so he plays with them. Yeah, and then I think probably we close to 100 tour players in total. Savannah Velobi, Carly Cox, they both LPGA tour players here in America. A very well-known European lady player from the LAT, Leanne Pace. She plays with them. There's a guy called George Kutsia, and he's a really a good player from South Africa. We actually named one of the frames after his nickname. Um, Obviously, Ernie Els, as you mentioned, and one of the big ambassadors, not a player anymore, but is Mark Immelman. That's doing on course broadcasting now for CBS Sports. So Mark wears our glasses. He loves it, and the whole CBS team is almost wearing our glasses out there, and they love it because they say, well, they can stand now 30, 40 yards away from the green and actually see the slopes and the grain and everything. And one of the new lines that we're launching soon is named after Mark Immelman. So yeah, so a few players, no big names yet. Hopefully soon we'll get one of these top PJ tour players to wear our brand.
Well, when someone buys a pair of these, I mean, what's included? I mean, obviously the glasses, but what about a carrying case or a cleaning solution or other accessories? I mean, especially for maintaining these during the round, because I'm taking them on, I'm taking them off, I'm sweating. It's 110 in the shade here. Let's remember that it's hot in the desert. Is it just the glasses? Kind of what's included when I make a purchase?
Yeah, so what we give with every purchase, you get a hard case, and that hard case is waterproof. It's got a bag clip on, so you can clip it on your golf bag or golf cart, and always store your glasses in there. And they will protect the glasses. With that comes a string bag as well, and that string bag, cloth bag, is also to protect the lenses, but you can also clean it with that, and also a just a normal cleaning cloth that comes with it. So that's the three extra pieces that you get with your sunglasses.
Well, you've been a part of this brand for a couple of years now, and we've talked about your journey and everything. But like, what was it that sold you on Jondo Sport and leaving the tour from playing competitive golf, going to this? Like, what was the hinge moment that you had that made you realize, hey, this is a direction I want to take my career?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, any any player that's not on tour anymore will tell you they weren't good enough to be on tour still. So for me, it was simple. I wasn't good enough. Um, but luckily for me, with the my PGA apprenticeship and doing my PGA course at a club, I definitely fell in love with the business of golf. And I grew up sort of in a golf family. My dad was involved in a club as a secretary with their finances, and helped a golf course, our local golf course, turn into almost like not a, yeah, you can maybe say from just a normal public golf course to a resort golf course. So I've always, yeah, grew up with that. And so golf was always there for me, and I never actually wanted to do anything else. So when I stopped playing, carried on with quite a few golf ventures. So maybe entrepreneur at heart as well, definitely in golf. And as I sort of carried on, I had a few golf schools and managed a few golf clubs, and I was fortunate enough to also own my own golf course. And but I really fell in love with finding good products and products that are really niche, and something special. And again, when this friend of mine, the original founder, when he showed me the glasses, I looked at the brand, and immediately I fell in love with it because of the quality. And I always wanted to live in America. And looked at this brand and I asked him, listen, is it only available in South Africa or anywhere else? He says it's only in South Africa, and they want to focus on the manufacturing. And I said, well, can I get the brand for America? And that was my goal, to really take a solid brand, um, you know, to the golfing environment, golfing business here in America, because not only is it the biggest golf business in the world, but Americans are so brand loyal and they love good quality. And and it's not only because I own the brand in America now, but honestly, even before that, there's no lens, no product in the eyewear game that can come close to it. And the first time when Modern Golf, it's a YouTube channel, when they do ratings, they had us there, for the first time. And it's not a paid for advertising thing. The guy got a pair of glasses somehow or somewhere, and he rated us amongst all the brands as the number one high-end eyewear brand. And that's my thing. I like quality. I like brands that can really give value to the golfer and give them that edge that they want. So yeah, golf entrepreneur, just love good brands, always wanted to get involved in good brands and try and help scale the brand. And this is why I'm here with Jondo.
Well, this space is competitive. I mean, you walk into any golf shop, you've got 20 different brands for every item. How are you positioning Jondo Sport to stand out? I mean, especially if you've got I mean, you walk into a golf shop, you've got a counter full of stuff, and why am I picking these versus the thing that's next to them? And what are some things that you're doing to stand out?
Yeah, again, Ricky, good question. If our competitors are Oakley, Maui, Ray-Ban, those are the brands that are out there. Those brands have been around for, some of them 50 years and even more. So it's really difficult to compete with them at that level where everyone knows their brand and no one knows us. So our way to be competitive is just at the customer level. I almost want to say at these green grass stores, be there with the golfer, show him the product. At clubs where golfers still trust their local pro, their local PGA pro, and I think the PGA pros and buyers, and the golf professionals in clubs are doing such a great job with that. Many years ago, everyone thought, "Oh, the club pro is dead. Why do we need PJ pros and that?" But I can tell you, there's still a lot of respect for the professionals. From a club manager to the greenkeeper, the superintendents, the buyers, merchandisers, to the coaches, and they are still highly valued today by their members. And that's what we do, and that's our strategy. So we really focus on green grass stores. We want people running the golf business at the local club to obviously look at our product first. If they feel the same as we do, that we have a brilliant product, they're going to tell their members. And we don't want them to try and make sales for us. All we want is say, listen, put our lens on, put our glasses on, and now put some of the other brands on, and just try and compare and take or buy whatever is the best for you. And that's our strategy, sort of one club at a time. And that's how we do it. um other than that, I mean, I need a bucket full of money, even more, to try and compete with these big brands. And they also have great products. So it's not shooting them down or anything. It's just they have been around forever. It's like me bringing out a new golf ball, and now I'm going to compete against Titleist Pro V1. I mean, you get almost zero chance of succeeding against such a big brand that's been around for, I don't know, probably over 100 years now. So that's how we do it.
Well, I have tried every ball under the sun to try to find something even close to the Pro V1, and I will say that there are some balls that I will play that I think are in the same conversation, and don't laugh at me, but the new Maxfly golf ball is really good, but it's not a Pro V1. The Kirkland's not a Pro V1. I can't get the same spin out of the Callaway, the TaylorMade TPX. It doesn't matter. Like the Pro V1 is the best ball, period, hard stop, non-negotiable for me, and I would venture anybody that's playing this game at even a remotely competitive level.
Yeah, and again, you like you said, you've tested everything, and it works for you. And that's exactly what we want. We don't want people to, just believe in what we're saying. We want them to sort of try on five, six, seven different brands of eyewear, and then choose the best one for you, because ultimately, golf is about what works for you, and you see it on even at tour level. I mean, the guys at Strixon, for instance, if they work with Hideki and those guys, they don't even try and fit them. They bring their own fitters because they only trust their fitters. So you hear so many of those stories. I mean, you look at guys playing on tour. He's been playing with one putter for his whole life. Doesn't matter what the sponsors are paying him. That's what he's going to play with. You look at Tiger Woods. I mean, in the beginning years, he played with the Mizuno iron, and what was the first Nike iron that came out? It was almost 100% copy of the Mizuno iron. So obviously Tiger liked that iron, and that's what he wanted, and that's what Nike gave him, as an iron that looked exactly like the Mizuno iron. So it's preference, it's what works, but it's about giving yourself a fair opportunity in trying out quite a few things. And we see that today definitely in the industry. I mean, you don't ever walk into a shop anymore and just buy a set of clubs off the rack. It's all custom fittings, and with all this amazing data today that you can get from monitors like FlightScope, to give you all your stats and data to fit you into the right set of clubs, even down to putters today. So the golf ball, and that's exactly where eyewear is going.
Well, good segue into my next question. I mean, it's about looking ahead, and where do you see this technology evolving within the game of golf, and what role do you see Jondo Sport playing in shaping that future?
So you'll see, there's a big movement currently in eyewear in general, where it's become a little bit gadgety. So a lot of gadgets, the meta glasses, there's cameras in the Boss um, glasses, or not Boss Bose, where you can now listen to music, through your glasses. So there's a few things going on in technology where they try and bring in, like I said, cameras, and asking your glasses, a few difficult questions, and AI is there to help, and it will show you through the lens, and those are all cool and nice gadget stuff. At the moment, that's not our focus. Our focus will be very strong from optometry level. And as technology improves, and research improves, and data improves, we'll keep adjusting to that. But first and foremost, from a optometry level to keep on producing the best lenses out there. And then frames might change, and there might be new technology that comes up, and so on. We really at the forefront with that too, where we go and source the best materials, and we always at every single optometry show in the world, every single one of them, we always speak to different manufacturers and suppliers of different products and materials. What's the best thing? So for us, it's first the lens, optometry standard lenses, and then secondly, the best frame that we possibly can get, for a golfer. And that's what we will do, I think, for a long time, because that's our core. That's our DNA is optometry standard products, and not really into gadgets and technology in that sense.
Well, man, we have covered so much today. I feel like we just started talking, but what else can you tell me about Jondo Sport and that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, so I would say what we haven't touched on really is, if you look at these lenses and about Jondo and the product specifically, um, it's really a product that you can put on your face, put on, excuse me, when you go and play golf, and you almost forget it's on your face. And that's really what the golfer wants. You don't want to go and play and there's something, on your head that distracts you, and you constantly have to, remove it, put it on and off, and so on. So I think that is, to me, the biggest thing is to put it on, you play golf, and there's a positive effect, or it will give you the edge. And basically, that edge is really to cut out all eye fatigue and really, really enhance the experience. Every single ad, every single thing out there is real people talking about it. It's not a faceless e-commerce brand, or just a brand we picked up somewhere and we thought it's a nice idea, and we're going to bring it into the golfing market because there's not enough sunglass brands out there. It's not like that. In fact, it's a complete opposite. It's like you said, it's highly competitive, the eyewear market. So for us, it is that true experience. Not a faceless brand. It's genuine people putting it on. You experienced it and you were blown away. When we met at Mission Hills, I don't know how many people played in that event, but there must have been 100 plus golfers that came by, and every single person, every single person you put it on was just, wow, they can't believe this, what they're seeing. So, so for us, it's that genuineness. It's proof is in the pudding, and and that's what I want everyone to experience, and really think of sunglasses not as an accessory, but as part of your equipment. Why would you go and do a putter fitting like we spoke about just now, or a club fitting? Why don't you always go and look at and finding the right eyewear, for your golf?
Where is the best place to learn more about you and your products? Maybe there's a newsletter we can sign up for. I want to stay up to date on the new releases and all of your developments. Maybe it's the blog. Where do we go?
Yeah, I think just our website would be the best. So the website is www.jondosport.com. JONDO sport.com. So that's the best. Sign up there. You'll be updated as we move on, and there's a lot of information about the technical side, about the lenses, etc. So everything is there. Otherwise, if any of the listeners want to contact me or my team, you can send us an email to info@jondosport.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions there, or anything that you want to know. We'll be more than happy to assist.
Well, what's next? What's the rest of the summer and the fall look like for you and Jondo Sport?
Yeah, so a lot. For us, it's to really get to all the golf clubs, and really get the clubs that feel they can, give their members a niche product, a product that will help their golf, a product that they can also be proud of to be resellers of. And so that's what we're going to do. And it's a long process. It's not a process where you just send an email to 1,000 clubs and 1,000 clubs respond and say, yes, let's put your product in our store. So it's literally being on the road every single day, knocking on doors, explaining, doing these conversations like what we have now, with the buyers and golf managers and golf directors, golf professionals. So that's what we're gonna do, and it's probably what we're gonna do for the next couple of years. Till we get nice momentum going into the green grass stores, and so that's our only focus.
Let's tee it up soon. Where are we going? Your house, my house? I mean, it's starting to get hot here in the desert. We could play fast and we could play early.
Yeah, well, seeing that we in California, one bucket list golf course for me is definitely Pebble Beach. I haven't played there, but just growing up with golf and watching it on TV, and um, that's definitely a course I would. We should go and play. We can tear up there, so we can have the sun over the ocean, over the Pacific, and the fog burning through the cloud, sky there, and it's also a great spot to have a pair of Jondos on, I suppose. So Pebble Beach, it will be.
Well, I tell you, they talk about playing Pebble and how expensive that it is and how hard it is to get a tee time. I'm gonna go out there and yeah, my handicap is, I'm a pretty good player. I'm gonna shoot 150. I don't want to rush this. Like I want to hit every shot I can. I want to take my time.
Hopefully, you can get a better deal and not play 150 shots.
Well, leaders are readers, and there's no doubt that you are a leader in this space and what you're doing here. But what book are you currently reading?
Currently, I'm reading The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. So it's basically about measuring your progress backwards, from where you started, rather than sort of going forward, to an achievable ideal. Um, so yeah, I think that book for me is very relevant. While we're busy building this new company or new brand in the US. So yeah, so it's literally, every day trying to make progress, but also checking, where you started. So working not just forward, but always looking back. It's almost like, I like this analogy of a person in a rowing boat. That person sits with his back to the front when they row, and looking backwards, but they're going forward. And I know a lot of people say you shouldn't look back, but I think that's that perfect rear view mirror to see where you've come from, what you've learned in other ventures, what can you apply now to make this journey just a lot better, stronger, and so on. So yeah, The Gap and the Gain, that to me is quite a relevant book for me that I'm currently working through.
Well, I think I know where you're playing, but who's in your dream foursome, and where are you playing? You're going to Pebble, so who's in your group?
Yeah, so definitely Ernie Els. and Tiger Woods in his heyday, and my son. Yeah, so that will be the four of us. And why I say Ernie Els and Tiger, I mean, if you followed the history of Ernie Els and Tiger, um, I think if it wasn't for Tiger, Ernie would have been the best, greatest golfer ever. If you see how many second spots he had in majors and tournaments where Tiger sort of just dominated. So I would love to see the two of them both at their heyday. And with I've got four kids, but my one son, he just turned 16. His name is Jordan. He's a serious golfer, and I would love him in that four ball just to learn and yeah, see how these two can play and just enjoy their talks amongst each other.
Okay, we haven't talked about this. I'm nervous to ask this because you and I are becoming quick friends, and I'm loving what you're doing. The glasses are incredible. Be careful how you answer this, but Tiger is tied with Sam Snead, 82 official PGA Tour wins. As a reminder, I'm his biggest fan. I collect his memorabilia. I'm looking at him on about 20 things hanging on my wall. Do you think he gets one more win before he retires?
Man, I think we're on the same page, and I'm a big Tiger fan as well. But unfortunately, I want to say yes. I really want to say yes.
Yes, next question. Just say yes and we'll move on.
But I can't see it happening. I'm sorry. Not with his physical condition at the moment and what he's been through. I don't know. I don't know. So I gotta say no. Sorry. Sorry, Ricky.
All right. Well, we'll see if I call you tomorrow, but I'm just kidding. What's next for you and Jondo Sport? What's the immediate future look like for you in this brand?
Yeah, I think the immediate thing and immediate future for us is to just keep doing what we're doing, try and be consistent with our business plan, our game plan, should rather say, and that's to really try and get in front of as many people as possible, keep knocking on doors, you know, tell people about and show people what we have, and just try and be really consistent with that and focus with that, and at the same time not to try and make too many mistakes in growing the business. So for us, it's very simple. It's not an easy business, but it's a simple business. Just be very consistent, talk to a lot of people, show them the product, get it into green grass stores, and give great customer service. And that's what's ahead of us.
Step into the heart of Scotland with Eden Mill Scotland Experiences. Journey through the art of craft distilling, where tradition meets innovation. From blending your own gin to savoring the finest whiskies, every moment is a celebration of Scotland's rich heritage. Whether you're a whiskey enthusiast, a gin lover, or simply an adventurer at heart, Eden Mill offers experiences you'll never forget. Book your journey today and create memories to last a lifetime.
In golf, the 19th hole is a slang term for a bar or a restaurant on or near the golf course, very often in the clubhouse itself. What is your favorite 19th hole, and what are you drinking?
Oh man, that's a interesting question. Okay, so um, I I have to say, in one of our Southern Africa 19th holes is I would take Leopard Creek. Now Leopard Creek is in the Kruger or right next to the Kruger Park, and you've got all those wild animals around you, and you can literally sit in the bush, the African bush, and just view this unbelievable nature in front of you and animals around you. So that's my favorite 19th hole. I mean, there's quite a few nice spots, but for me to be in Africa in the bush with the animals like that is just unbelievable. And Leopard Creek is one of the top golf courses in South Africa. So that's definitely that. And I'll just have an ice cold Coke. Don't drink and drive in the Kruger or near animals. It's dangerous. So I'll just have an ice cold Coke and just enjoying the African bush and its animals.
Man, that is awesome. What a fun conversation. Like I really enjoyed spending time with you at the Springs and seeing you on the golf course at Mission Hills and wearing the glasses are just spectacular. I mean, until you've put them on and you've seen them, you can't explain it. But thanks so much for doing this. It was great meeting you, seeing you, wearing the glasses and just spending our time together today. But you have something special here. Grateful for this connection. Keep up the good work, and then I can't wait to see where you go and where you grow from here. And let's you and me tee it up real soon, please.
We'll definitely do so. Thank you, Ricky. Thanks for the opportunity and well done with everything that you do. And your passion for the game is so evident, and and people can see that a mile away. So well done for everything that you do for your own club, your own brand, all the organisations that you're involved with. So they're very lucky to have you. Thanks for that, Ricky.
That puts this instalment of the Wednesday Match Play podcast in the books. But we'll be back next week for another exciting episode of the show.